It's no secret that the Roman Empire in antiquity wasn't always the most morally upright of societies. The ruins of ancient Rome have been the site of several discoveries of brothels, booze, and pornography. Pompeii was no different. Some NSFW features from the metropolis that was captured in time by Mount Vesuvius' abrupt eruption are still visible today. Here are a few shocking truths about Pompeii that you might discover there. Phallic Pompeii. One thing I soon learned from my trip to Pompeii is that graffiti content hasn't altered much over the past 2,000 years. You can see drawings of penises and graphic writing throughout the ancient city. Some even had carvings that resembled the modern practice of drawing on wet concrete. It was an incredibly funny insight to know that no matter who you are, where you live, or when you live, phallic graffiti has always been a human experience. Penises can be found not only as graffiti roughly drawn and carved onto public walls, but built into the roads as well. It is guessed that the phallic symbols on the streets point towards the nearest brothel to direct foreign sailors who may be heavily intoxicated and or unable to speak the local language. Not so secret Pompeii brothels and prostitution. Prostitution was lawful and did not carry the same stigma as it does today in the ancient Roman Empire. Sailors frequently went to the brothels in Pompeii because it was a port city to let off steam after a long voyage. The brothels had a type of menu to choose from since many of the sailors did not understand the native tongue or were too drunk to do so. Before being escorted to their room, sailors were allegedly supposed to point to a painting of explicit pornography and select an act they would like to pay for. The brothel chambers were intentionally designed to be small and uncomfortable. Stone beds were meant to be uncomfortable so that visitors would not fall asleep after their time was up, wasting the prostitute's time and costing the brothel money. Art of sex in Pompeii. In Pompeii, paintings of sexual actions and enormous phalluses are found on everyday household items, as well as on the walls of public buildings, such as bathhouses. Because of their graphic sexual content, these artifacts, which were wonderfully preserved after the eruption in 79 AD, were repeatedly hidden away by several popes. Popes undoubtedly desired to keep Pompeii's sexual secrets a secret. It is now believed that the art represented fecundity rather than the extraordinarily promiscuous nature of the Pompeian populace. In any case, the artwork is exquisitely executed, even if the subject matter makes some viewers uncomfortable. Sexual souvenirs. The gift shops nearby the park make the most of the city's colorful sexual history. Penises cover just about everything, and the brothel paintings are carved and painted onto bowls, mugs, and even playing cards. Pompeii is an incredible sight to visit, filled with history, art, and culture frozen in time. However, be advised that many of these symbols are open and present during group and individual tours. Bring children with you at your own risk. Sex played a significant part in people's daily lives in Pompeii and other parts of the empire. Prostitution was especially prevalent, and having sex was a fun hobby. In Pompeii alone, there are 35 known brothels, which is the same number of bakeries discovered. This demonstrates the crucial economic importance that brothels played. There were frequent visitors to Pompeii, and its population fluctuated between 8,000 and 12,000 people. Since there were no obvious moral restrictions on the brothels, and they seemed to be dispersed evenly throughout the city, it was concluded that the idea of sex for pleasure was both widely accepted and unremarkable. The prevalence of brothels also reveals how women are treated, especially slave women. The sex demographic was dominated by men. Erotic art wasn't only common in brothels, but extremely typical for regular homes in Pompeii. Art of a sexual nature was so common that when excavations first began, it was difficult to correctly identify brothels as the art was common in the regular domus. Not all these pieces of art were for the purpose to be sexually pleasing, but also held other, mundane, and widely known meanings. Sexual symbols today, like the phallus, are considered improper, but in Pompeii, it would have been a symbol of protection, fertility, masculinity, and a symbol to ward off the evil eye. The significance of these findings is that we probably wouldn't still have them today had it not been for the eruption that preserved it for over 1,000 years. Observing the sexual towards sex, we are met with an ultimately different cultural standpoint. Would you visit Pompeii? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video and would like to hear more from us, please subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications before you go. Thanks for watching.